All right, next part of the tutorial involves bringing that information into GIS. So if you open GIS, what I want you to pull up is the map pack. So in the list of files in the tutorial list, there is a map pack called Week2.2. The way you open a map pack is just drag the file into the data frame like that, and it will just automatically open and import all the layers that were in the map pack. Why is it not showing up? Let me try it again. All right, in the future, if you guys ever need data that I can provide you guys with, I will probably send it to you via map pack, and then it'll just bundle all this information into one basically map file, and all the information is embedded with that. And then if you need to export shapefiles, you just need to right click on the layer and export the shapefile just by like that. So what this map has is a regional map of the United States. I have a few layers that could be of interest to you guys. The first is basically just a state map of the United States. This state map has some very good information in terms of population, race, age groups, that kind of stuff. So this already has some good population info that you guys can use if you want to incorporate that into your map. I'm giving you guys major urban areas. So this is the Tiger Line data set that came from census.gov that represents all the major urban areas in St. Louis. And so if I open this attribute table, you can see that basically it breaks it down to these major urban areas. It's not cities, it's urban areas. So like the Oakland, San Francisco, Oakland area, it's kind of like a group. And also keep the New York area. This is useful for a particular map I'll show you guys how to make later. I'm giving you guys census tracts. So this is basically population data, straight up population data. So there you go. And what this information will give you is basically population at the tract level. So if you open the attribute table, you'll just see it pop up. There we go. So information about the population from 2012, 2010, racial information from white, black, American Indian, Asian, Hawaiian, Hispanic, that kind of stuff. Now, one thing I want to show you guys very quickly how to do, I showed you guys how to visualize things using quantities in the last tutorial, but what I want to show you guys right now how to do is how to do it for something like this in a way that makes sense, real quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the sky, go to properties, go to categories, quantities, and go to the value field, and we're going to start by visualizing population, and we're going to do pop 2012. Okay, so one thing that you will notice, it says this maximum sample size reached, not all records are being used. If you see this happen, what you need to do is you need to first get out of here real quick and open the attribute table. And you need to just take mental note of the number of items in this list. So right now in this list, there is 73,682 items in this list. So basically 74,000 items. So go back to the properties, go back to the quantities tab, go back to the population, set the value to like a population. If that maximum sample size reach thing comes up, what you want to do is you want to go to this classify button right here. And you want to increase the sampling. So click on the sampling button right here, and it says it sets the limit to 10,000. You want to set that number to the number you mentally took note of, in my case, 74,000. And now it should be able to take all the information on the map. And then pick a color gradient to visualize that, and then click apply. If I show you what turns up, if it does turn up, then click OK. And I'll show you guys another trick how to make this load faster as well. You'll see this is your population map. Now, I'm going to ask a question for you guys. Do you think this map makes sense? So the way you make this make sense is to use a field called normalization. Because what we want to do is we actually want to in order to represent it as density, we need to basically divide the population by the size of the tract. And that's what this little normalization line here is doing. So usually with these tract maps, there's usually an area value already baked into the data set. In this case, it's the square miles. If you set the normalization to square miles and then click OK, the map will now make perfect sense. And you'll see what I mean in a second. It's hard to see because the dense areas of the United States are actually very in small pockets. But you kind of see now the Los Angeles region now looks like a dense area, right? This now makes sense as a population map. This area here is dense. If you look at San Francisco, obviously the downtown urban area of San Francisco is now dense. This is how you make quantitative data that is visualized on a parcel or some kind of tract makes sense. This actually is a more accurate representation of population. And what we can do is, as Roy mentioned, is to adjust the classification values here to make it a little bit more easy to read. So maybe let's do something like that and pull this back like that. I just did I think a quantile. Click OK, click Apply. That just makes some of the lesser urban areas a little bit more pronounced in terms of the gradient. So you can kind of see now this begins to make more sense as a population map.